I'm Dr. Terrie Van Alstyne. I'm a naturopathic doctor, and I'm going to talk about protecting our immune system naturally. Oh, I guess I should do the big screen. Okay, so causes of poor immunity. You can see the list: antibiotics and other medications, a damaged gut, which is often inflamed and or with small permeations or holes in the lining. The lining is only one cell thick, separating it from the bloodstream. So it can get damaged quite easily, and certain foods will do that. And I believe I have a slide on which ones later. Stress is very damaging in general to the body because of adrenaline and cortisol. They're caustic, corrosive to all tissues. And stress will age us, will age our skin and our bodies internally and externally, and depress our immune systems. Exposure to wind and to cold as well, and cold wind as well. If the wind hits the back of the neck, into the wind gates, there's 2 points at the back of the neck. This is in Chinese medicine. That will often cause someone to catch a cold or a flu. Poor diet and nutrient deficiency will cause poor immunity, and I'll be talking about which nutrients are the most important for the immune system. Lack of sunlight and vitamin D, lack of oxygen, so not enough clean air to breathe, lack of exercise, not being breastfed, which we can't do anything about. It's after the fact, but we can keep that in mind if we are going to have babies. Also, having a C-section birth rather than vaginal decreases the microbiome for the baby. And toxicity will cause poor immunity. So that's air pollution, water pollution, food pollution, as well as fear, which is a stress. So this diagram shows our digestive tract and various organs and how the immune system is impacted. So whether we're eating the right nutrients, including protein, fats, carbohydrates, polyphenols, and pre and probiotics, and whether we have altered gut bacteria, which is also called dysbiosis. So taking antibiotics, for example, will kill off a lot of the beneficial bacteria as well as the pathogenic, causing an altered gut bacteria state. And that impacts the immune system as well as the neurotransmitters, the basic hormones in the brain, serotonin and dopamine. Biologic effects, these alter host metabolism, the immune system, production of pro and anti-inflammatory metabolites, and this occurs in the liver. So these are basically toxins that impact. And host diseases like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, type 2, obesity, metabolic syndrome, which is like obesity. It's in the same realm where you're pre-diabetic, and autoimmune diseases. So functions of gut bacteria. You can see there are many things that gut bacteria do, and they are called the microbiome. So the microbiome is outside of our bodies, it's around our bodies, and it's in our gut. So you can read through all of the ways that gut bacteria influence our bodies and how we rely on them. So the best foods to feed the gut microbiome are naturally fermented vegetables like sauerkraut that we make ourselves, ideally. And it's very easy. There's just 2 ingredients, the vegetables and salt. So look up a recipe, and you can make it taste amazing by adding whatever you like. I followed one recipe. It's from somewhere in South America, and it had onion, carrot, cabbage, and jalapeno, and it was delicious. I'm still eating it. But that allows for us to build up our strong, healthy microbiome in our gut again. Because when you naturally ferment the vegetables, the bacteria in the air land in it and ferment it naturally. And then we introduce those bacteria into our gut, and it makes our immune system strong. Fruits and vegetables, which give us a lot of fiber, is very important for the gut microbiome. Miso soup, because that's naturally fermented. It doesn't need to be soy. You can buy non-soy versions. And the one I have is a chickpea version. So I buy a lot of foods from a company called Organic Matters, and their website is omfoods.com. And everything that they offer is organic. They're out of Nelson. Their prices are good. And they have both medicinal herbs, plants, powders, foods, as well as culinary, and in bulk amounts as well. Kimchi is naturally fermented cabbage with spices. Kefir is a naturally fermented drink that is a dairy based, which may or may not be a problem. And then kombucha is also a naturally fermented drink that contains natural bacteria that helps build our gut microbiome. Lowering stress. We need to lower stress, as I mentioned, to improve our immune systems and protect ourselves from getting sick. Because once we're stressed out, our immune systems become depressed and we are much more prone to getting sick. And if it's long-term, then we are prone to getting not only colds and flus, but chronic diseases. So ways that we can lower stress, and we need to be diligent about this and do it every day, and it will change our lives. At least that's what I've found. Meditating every morning. As soon as I wake up, I go to the bathroom, get back into bed, and sit up in bed and do a meditation. And ideally, you do it morning and evening. Deepak Chopra says 30 minutes twice a day. Often I don't do it in the evening, but by doing it in the morning, it sets the tone for the day. I'm relaxed, I'm positive. I feel like I'm in control and nothing is going to bother me in a negative way. Daily exercise, super important as well to lower stress. That's been proven. Daily exercise is the key thing that we can do to lower stress. Spending time in nature, being out in the forest or by the ocean or a lake or in a park, that grounds us and calms us and is essential. Decreasing or eliminating caffeine helps us to lower stress because caffeine agitates. It speeds up our heart rate, our nerves become agitated. And it's hard to be calm when you're drinking coffee. We need to decrease or eliminate sugar and junk food, which are very detrimental to our health. Sugar is linked to cancer and all kinds of chronic diseases. It damages the arteries, causing atherosclerosis. It causes weight gain, which leads to diabetes, which puts us at risk for, amputation, heart disease, heart attacks, strokes, kidney damage and disease, so many things. And junk food is basically a lot of deep fried chemicals. So not good. Mental detoxification. This is a great thing to try to do. And that is to not allow any negative thoughts. And you start with one day and you just keep adding days to it. And if you ever have a negative thought, you immediately switch it to a positive or just get rid of that negative thought. That's essential. Listen to spiritual audiobooks while driving or read them. There's so many great ones. I'm constantly rotating from Deepak Chopra to Donald Walsh to Marianne Williamson. There's so many great ones. So Wayne Dyer, etc. It's important to stay calm and learn and really be cognitive of our mental state and our beliefs and raise our frequencies. And we need to slow down and prioritize so that we don't get stressed out. Sorry. So treatments for stress that I offer at the two clinics I work at are mental field therapy, which is a tapping technique that is tapping on specific acupuncture points and meridians while repeating a statement. Like even though I have anxiety, and it really calms a person down. If they're a 10 out of 10 in stress, and they do this technique a few times, just even 3 times, they can reduce their amount of stress to 0 out of 10. I offer a Stress Buster IV, which is a nutritional therapy where I add high amounts of magnesium, B complex, taurine and glycine, which lower cortisol and adrenaline, as well as all of the individual B vitamins, calcium, zinc, selenium, and many others. And it greatly lowers cortisol and adrenaline and boosts the immune system and gives the patient lots of energy. Supplements that we sell at the clinic and that you can get elsewhere, but the brands that we use are 2 of the top brands on the market, Douglas Labs and Pure Encapsulations. But really important ones for lowering cortisol and adrenaline are a B complex, GABA, and L-theanine. Japanese green tea or matcha is excellent for stress. Matcha specifically is it's a powdered green tea, and it's what monks drank that allowed them to stay calm yet alert so that they could meditate. Shiatsu is a Japanese pressure point massage, which I find is much more effective than traditional Swedish massage. But it's a great way to relax the body and decrease stress. And regular massage is also very relaxing. And we can do self-massage as well. And it really helps to calm the body. Laughter is super important. So watching funny movies or videos, or thinking of funny things and laughing out loud, or reading good books that make you laugh. This is great treatment for stress. And of course, counseling and neurofeedback, which Nicholas Ehrlich, the owner of Vital Synergy in North Vancouver, where I work, she's been a clinical counselor for 40 years, and she has 2 neurofeedback machines. And that's where electrodes are attached to the brain, and certain frequencies are sent in, and it calms the body down, and it allows for both right and left hemisphere of the brain to communicate again. And after a 30-minute session, it feels like you've done a deep, deep meditation. You're so calm and relaxed. The most important nutrients for the immune system are vitamins A, C, D, E, zinc, and selenium. These nutrients feed the white blood cells to kill invading bacteria and viruses. You may be able to find an antioxidant formula, which is a combination of these, which will have small amounts of each, or you can choose either one of each at the optimal dose or several of these to take, and you could rotate them as well. But if you are feeling like you're coming down with a cold or flu, it's very important to be taking these throughout the day, more than once a day. Foods that depress the immune system, obviously all the foods in the picture here, junk foods, sugar, deep fried things. So processed food, sugar, alcohol depresses the immune system. It actually stuns the white blood cells. It paralyzes them so they can't move. Gluten, which is wheat, rye, spelt. Those are the main gluten grains. Gluten-free grains that are safe for the immune system and for our gut in general are buckwheat, oats, rice, and quinoa is not a grain, it's actually a seed. So those are gluten-free. Dairy and corn can depress the immune system, as well as soy and eggs. Treatments to boost immunity. At the clinics, I offer respiratory ozone. So ozone is a gas. It's a concentrated oxygen. It's actually O3. So 3 molecules of oxygen combined together rather than O2, which is what we breathe in. And I mist it through olive oil to hydrate it. And then the patient breathes it in through a nasal cannula. And they can do this for 30 minutes or an hour. And what it does is it kills bacteria and viruses on contact, as well as fungus. It gives the body much more oxygen, which increases energy. And it helps with performance and endurance. So if people are having a hard time working long hours as they age, or running the distances they used to run, that kind of thing, ozone can greatly improve that. I offer IV nutrient drips, as I mentioned, the Stress Buster and others, immune drips, also glutathione push and immune boosting IV push. And supplements, I have formulated the immune and antiviral formula and others, but since we're talking about immunity, that's the one specific for immunity. And the vitamins that we offer are vitamins A, D3, zinc, selenium, antioxidant formula, wild oregano oil, and a probiotic. Immune supportive herbs, wild oregano oil, garlic, black seed oil, elderberry, lemon balm, cat's claw, colloidal silver. It's not a herb, but I thought I'd list it anyways. And L-lysine is it's an amino acid, but it's excellent for herpes. Excuse me. So lemon balm is excellent in a tea, and cat's claw and lemon balm I have combined with L-lysine in my immune and antiviral formula. Colloidal silver you can buy as a liquid, or you can make it yourself if you have the device. And silver has been used through the centuries as an antimicrobial. So a small amount of this is another way to kill bacteria and viruses. For coughs and mucus, these are some really effective ways to treat. Taking NAC, which is N-acetylcysteine. So it breaks up mucus, and as with any treatment, you need to take it more than once a day. So ideally you'd take it at least twice, but 3 times a day, or as often as needed, depending on the severity. So if you have a really congested situation, then You should take it probably more than 3 times a day, but it is very effective at breaking up mucus. NAC is also a precursor to glutathione. Glutathione is a substance that our livers make, and it is, if you think of the word aid, AID, it's a master antioxidant, it's an immune booster, and it's a detoxifier. So NAC makes glutathione. So it's also improving our immune systems at the same time. We can take for a cough 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard 2 to 3 times a day. And lemon ginger turmeric tea is very effective. In fact, a friend of mine who did get COVID and was bound to her bed for 2 weeks, she couldn't get up because she couldn't breathe. The only thing she said that worked for her was lemon ginger turmeric tea. So the way I make it is I do it in a blender, I boil water, and I squeeze a whole lemon in. I first grate the rind off of it. So just the yellow part, not the white, because the white is bitter. That's the pith. A whole lemon, a big chunk of ginger that I scrape the peel off with a spoon, a teaspoon of, actually a quarter teaspoon of turmeric. It's very strong, so you don't need much. I pour the boiling water in, I blend it, and then I strain it through a strainer into a cup. And then I add honey. And the best honey you can add for your immune system is the Melaleuca honey, which is made from the tea tree plant. So tea tree oil is a natural antimicrobial as well, but you can't take that internally. But the honey you can. Breathing in eucalyptus and tea tree oil in a steaming pot of water. So you can fill a pot of water, ideally with filtered water, so you're not breathing in heavy metals and fluorine and chloride, or fluoride and chlorine. So you have your water in a pot, you have, say, 10 drops of eucalyptus oil and 10 drops of tea tree oil. You put a tea towel over your head and you have the pot simmering gently, and you just take deep breaths of that into your lungs. And that is a great way of decongesting, and probably also for the sinuses. So Rob, you might want to try that for your sinuses. Castor oil packs on the chest. So castor oil is really an amazing substance. If you can buy it at any drugstore or health food store, and you saturate a flannel cloth, and then you wrap it around your chest in the case of a chest infection. And then you put a plastic around, and then a heating pad or a hot water bottle. Hot water bottles are healthier than heating pads because the electricity in the heating pad is giving off EMFs, which is not helpful for our health. And then you wrap yourself in a blanket. So you can go to sleep with that on. You can have the hot water bottle on the chest and on the back, so that that castor oil sinks into the lungs from each side. And what it does is it decreases inflammation, and it allows the organs to detoxify. So in this case, the lungs to detoxify and to improve function. And it can also be done on the abdomen, the liver, kidneys, etc., if those are issues. And the last thing is alternating hot and cold on the chest. So the easiest way to do that on your own is in a shower. So changing the temperature, hot, cold, and you do the chest and the upper back, and you rotate. So what that does is it really stimulates circulation to go to the area in the hot, and then to move out of the area with the cold water, and then back to the area, and back and forth, back and forth. So that's a great way to bring the white blood cells into the area to kill any infection. So a lifestyle for strong immunity, as I mentioned, hot and cold showers, alternating sauna and cold shower. So this is a great thing to do at a recreation center where you can go into the sauna and then have a cold shower, and then maybe the steam room and a cold shower, and then the sauna, cold shower, steam room, cold shower. Again, it's the alternating hot and cold that greatly improves the immune system. Cold water dips, so jumping into lakes, streams, the ocean into cold water is very boosting for the immune system. But the key is that you don't stay cold. So you've got to warm up quickly afterwards. And whether that's getting into a hot pool or a hot tub or a hot bath immediately, or at least warm clothes. Cover your neck to avoid wind. As I mentioned, the wind gates are at the back of the neck, 2 points. And so it's very important to keep those covered. At the change of season, that's when we're most prone to getting sick. So taking some of these things to boost our immune systems, like astragalus, Cotinopsis is a type of mushroom, reishi, chaga mushrooms, lychee, which is goji berries, dioscorea is wild yam, licorice root, clove, and cinnamon. So you can buy the roots. Ohm Foods carries many of these. And you can boil them into a soup, basically, and strain it and drink it as a tea. And raw garlic is excellent for the immune system as well. So we can have salads with it. We can add it to our soups right at the end. Just incorporating raw garlic as much as possible in the diet will greatly improve our immune systems. What else can we do? We can spend time in nature, as I mentioned, drink plenty of clean water. So the key is that it's filtered really well. I have a Kangen system. It's the best water filtration system that I've found. It is expensive. I think the cheapest model is $2,000, but you have it for 20 to 25 years, and at least you have clean water. Otherwise, our water is full of heavy metals and other toxins, fluoride and chlorine. We need to be in bed by 10 or 10:30 p.m. to give the body and immune system a chance to heal. And taking vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams 3 times a day or more often than that, if needed, is super important. Vitamins A, D, E, zinc, and selenium are all very important and immune boosting. My Core Healing Immune and Antiviral Formula, which is a powder that can be taken in water, juice, with greens, in almond milk, or in a smoothie with wild blueberries, banana, orange, is very, very powerful. And detoxification is also very important to boost our immune systems and allow us to avoid chronic diseases and extend our lives. So we are all full of toxins. We can't help it. They're coming at us from everywhere. They're in our food, our water, our air, our cleaning products in the home, and our body care products. And the only way to get the toxins out and the heavy metals out is through a proper detoxification program. So this program is explained on my website, corehealing.ca. And I've put everything into it I could think of to make it the most effective and doable for everyone. And this is the immune and antiviral formula, the ingredients and the amounts. So it's quite loaded. And that's everything. So thank you so much for joining me. If you have extended naturopathic coverage, go see a naturopath and use it up. There's a lot you can do. Most naturopaths do IV therapies. They may or may not have ozone therapy. If I'm in your neighborhood, I'm in Yaletown and North Vancouver, and would love to be able to help. I also offer online consults.